Hey guys, welcome back to Math with Marilyn. Before we get started, make sure to grab a pencil and paper so that you can take proper notes as you follow along. So today's topic is finding the greatest common factor. So we're going to find the greatest common factor by using a factor tree. The greatest common factor is the biggest number that divides evenly into each number in given sets of numbers. Find the prime factorization of a number and use that to find the greatest common factor between two or three numbers. So the first thing I need to remind you of is prime. The definition or some examples of prime. Prime numbers are numbers that can only be multiplied by themselves and 1 to get the number. So for example, prime numbers. I'm just going to write prime over here. My examples would be 2, because you can only multiply 2 by 1 to get 2. Also 3. I'll give you one more, 5. Those are all examples of prime numbers. They can only be multiplied by themselves and 1 to come up with a number. So you need to make sure you keep that in mind. So we're going to work number 1 out together, and hopefully this will freshen your memory about using the prime factorization tree to find your GCF. So in our number 1, we have 12 and 8. I'm going to start with 12. So we want to find two numbers that we can multiply by to get 12, and I'm going to use 4 and 3. 3 is a prime number, so I can't go any further with it. But 2 is a composite number, which means it can be broken down further. So 4 can be broken down to 2 times 2. Now you can see that on the end of my tree, all I have left, you might call them branches on the tree, but all I have left are the prime numbers, 4, 12. I'm going to go ahead and circle those in blue. All right, now let's do the same thing for 8. Two numbers that can be multiplied to get 8 are 4 and 2. 2 is a prime number, so we have to leave it alone, but 4 can be broken down again to 2 times 2. All right, so again, I'm at my stopping point because at the end of my tree or my leaves or my branches, however you want to look at them, all I have are prime numbers, which I'm going to circle. All right, off to the side here, I'm going to write 12, and then I'm going to combine all of my prime numbers. So I got 2, 2, and 3, sorry. And then for 8, we have 2, 2, and 2. So to find the GCF between these, you pull out what they have in common. So they have a set of 2's in common. So I'm going to pull out 1. All right. Then they also have another set of 2's in common. So I'm going to pull out another 2, and then you multiply them to get the final answer for your GCF. So in this case, my GCF is 4. So let's recap really quickly. The topic today was finding the greatest common factor, which often they just write GCF. The greatest common factor is the biggest number that divides evenly into each number in a given set of numbers. It's very important that you remember what prime numbers are. So we went over that. Prime numbers are numbers that can only be multiplied by themselves in 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13. Those are all prime numbers. All right, so we use what we call a prime factorization tree to help us with this. So we only did number 1, which was 12 and 8. So I started with 12, broke it down to 2 numbers that I could multiply to get 12, which were 4 and 3. I had to leave 3 alone because it's a prime number. But 4 can be broken down further to 2 times 2. Now on the ends, I have all prime numbers, so I circled them. We did the same thing for 8. Find two numbers that you can multiply to get 8. I used 4 and 2. 2 is a prime number, so we leave it alone. Circle it. 4 can be broken down a step further to 2 times 2. And then that's it. So now we have all prime numbers on the end, and I circled those. We listed all our prime numbers for 12 and 8. And then to find our final answer, we pulled out every number that they had in common. So we had a set of 2's in common, so I pulled out 1. We had another set of 2's in common, so I pulled out another 2. Then you multiply those two together. 2 times 2 is 4. So my GCF for the numbers 12 and 8 is 4. I hope that this was a helpful reminder of how to find your greatest common factor. Remember to click like, share, and we will see you next time on Math with Marilyn. Thanks.